Video games were always supposed to be an escape from reality and allowing people to live out their dreams and fantasies and have fun in their own world. And unfortunately, because the industry allows for that, it also opened the door for people that saw a way to use video games to push their ideologies on the masses. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And this person I'm going to be talking about today, they said so many awful, horrific things that I've had to try to re-record this 5 times trying to get my thoughts out properly because it's just so many things that are just taking me back. I'm like, I don't even know what to say or how to approach it. It's happened so often recently that I'm at a loss for words. And this one in particular, Marina Diaz, has been a part of the game industry for a while. Someone who runs a game studio, is a marginalized CEO, somebody who is pushing propaganda and agenda from behind the scenes and not even trying to hide it. And also has awful tweets against anyone that dares be born a white male. God forbid you get born into that lifestyle, because by default, you're an awful person. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article, screenshots, and all the other information sources for this insane human being. And yes, I'm not even making a leap when I say that, because when I read through some of these tweets, you're going to be like, holy crap, that's someone that is not just allowed in the game industry, but was allowed to flourish at conferences like GDC, being a speaker there, being a CEO of a game company, and pushing an agenda proactively, saying it in their manifesto, and talking about how gamers are the issue. But it's okay, because if we push diversity, equity, and inclusion, apparently it will just all resolve itself. In a now deleted post on her now private, because of course, Twitter, Marina Diaz, an advisor for GDC and a CEO of 3 Cups Games, caused quite the stir on social media when she put out some statements specifically targeting white men. She said on Twitter, "I went from thinking I'm a shitty designer to consult and train teams at one of the biggest game companies in the world. Keep believing in yourself and F white men and gatekeepers." Look at somebody who has been just pushed down her whole life. God only knows how awful one person may have been to her for her to form this perception in her mind that all white men are terrible. That's just the worst thing in the world. And now because I've been promoted, no longer marginalized, I'm now ahead of this game company, that I can now crap talk on all these white men because they're really the enemy in all of this. Oh, but not all white men. Let me clarify, because in a follow-up she said, not all white men, but you know what I mean, my loves, with a heart emoji. This person, anyone, by the way, who would say this on Twitter is not all there in the head. And it's someone that I think employers should look at these things and be like, I don't know if we want to take this person on. They don't really seem all there. But it's weird when the people that are championing DEI and pushing it straight ahead are the ones in charge. They're the ones that continue to perpetuate this madness. Grums on Twitter said, DEI policies in AAA game dev allow people to fail upwards, resulting in a self-admitted shitty designer promoted to training game teams as a consultant. This is where game consultants come from. Also, she thinks most of you suck. And this is someone who is a straight up liar as well, that has found a way to lie and still be promoted and move forward in life. It's very interesting how this works. In her own About section, she says, Marina Diaz is a Spanish award-winning game designer and filmmaker based in London, UK. She is the CEO of 3 Cup Games, an ethical and diverse game studio based in London. Which is fascinating because on that same page, she says, I'm not a technical game designer, meaning I don't do programming tasks. So this is someone that literally just tells people that actually have skills how to make a game that are already making the game, and then she's taking credit for it. And shout out to That Park Place for snagging a bunch of these screen caps before her Twitter went private, because holy crap, I thought it was bad enough with what Grums shared. It only gets worse. Way worse, growing my abs to crush nuts and obnoxious white men with them. Why white men over 40, for being somehow generous, are allergic to saying the word diversity. Because apparently diversity is the cleanse all. If you say the word diversity, it makes you an okay, good person. And if you question it or dare to say, hey, wait a second, this doesn't seem very fair, oh god, you are about to feel the wrath of Marina. My highlight of the year, yes, we're only in March, but is Breaking Bahia attending official GDC. Bahia is one of the people I admire and respect the most in this industry, and we need more people like her to kick the old white privilege ass. Again, who hurt you? Like, why do you have this burning desire to find any reason to just hate this anonymous figure in your brain that's telling you, white man bad, that's the person that's trying to hold me down, will always blame white man. Organized a spontaneous little meetup in Berlin for marginalized game developers. It's been amazing. Hope to do this more often. Okay, you know what? On the surface, we'll look past the whole marginalized developers. It's like, if you are a developer and you're gainfully employed, you're not marginalized. You got a job, you're doing fine. Don't worry about what your ethnicity is. Just do your work and do it really good. But whatever, I'll look past that because that's kind of what she focuses on and specializes in, and ethical marginalization and diversity and all these buzzwords that they always throw around. Whatever. What happened after that? OMG, Marina, I love this. Marina couldn't help herself. I was so tired of so many cis white men at meetups with a sad face. Imagine going through life where you hate cis white men, as she puts it, so much that you have to think about this proactively and write that down in a tweet for everyone to see when you are supposedly the head of a game company that is championing diversity. And I don't know, I haven't looked at the word for a while and what the definition is, but I think diversity is supposed to include everyone from everywhere. It's not supposed to just include supposedly marginalized by who you select and you believe in your brain is marginalized. No, diversity means everyone. I think NFTs are just, again, some people wanting to be better than the rest. And I think it has lots to do with white supremacy and dangerous stuff. Apparently, NFTs are now white supremacy. That's quite the leap. I don't know. First time I've heard this, I mean, sure, maybe anything is possible, but like, where is that coming from? Why would you even say that? What's that have to do with anything? Diaz's remarks are not an isolated incident. Over time, she's made similar concerning statements about white men specifically, continuing a theme of expressing disdain towards them in the context of the video game industry. And it makes you wonder what happened to her in her personal life to hate white men this much, as there's a lot of harbored anger that I'm reading that seems to be pretty pent up inside of her. And it's not just her. Like, that's the problem with all of this. There are lots of people like Marina Diaz in the video game industry right now. And there's a lot of executives that are just allowing it to happen because either they agree with it or they feel like they're doing the right thing by including people like this to push a narrative and an agenda. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It genuinely is. But let's dive into what her company, 3 of Cup Games, stands for, because it's hysterical when you pair it against what she says on Twitter to what they stand for. It just feels, I don't know, a bit hypocritical. 3 of Cup Games is an ethical, diverse, and inclusive game studio based in London, UK. Okay, could you please define ethical? Because I feel like you're making your own definition for it, because the way you're talking doesn't seem very ethical, especially when it comes to business. It sure as hell doesn't sound diverse, and it's definitely not inclusive if you are pointing out that cis white men are the evil enemy. We believe that we can help to change the world through games. Think about that for a second, because this is a self-admitted activist that she already talks about in her profile, that she is an activist, by the way. I might have forgot to mention that. She's not even hiding that fact, but she also is proactively saying that she wants to use games to infiltrate the minds of gamers and try to change the world to match her completely broken mindset. We believe that we can help to change the world through games. We believe in emotions. We believe in making games for everyone, as long as you're not a cis white male. For everyone. Which, by the way, if you make a game for everyone, you're not making a game for anyone, but actual gamers already know that. But above all, we believe in people. Again, if you're not a cis white man, Let's take a look at the Three of Cups Games Dev Manifesto. We believe that diversity and inclusivity are essential to creating great games. Do you notice, by the way, all of these people that I ever talk about that champion this whole DEI thing are so completely screwed up in the head. And these are the people that are trying to tell us that we are the ones in the wrong. That is the hardest thing for me to wrap my head around. We believe that games can be a powerful tool for social change. We are committed to creating games that challenge stereotypes and promote empathy and understanding. Okay, if that's the case, Marina, how about you make a game promoting empathy and understanding for how you are attacking white men? Oh wait, no, that doesn't fly with your narrative. Of course you're not going to do that. We believe that ethical game development requires us to consider the impact of our games on the world around us. We're committed to making games that are socially responsible and environmentally sustainable. All these buzzwords are literally for Google to pick up so that when they go to an investor, they can say, look at what we do: sustainable, economical, ethical, diverse, inclusive. We got all the words to get those grants and funds. Can you just give us that money, BlackRock? Because we're literally doing what we're supposed to do, what everyone else is doing. Just give us that money, and nobody can say anything about us because we're standing for the good thing. Except white men. Those are the bad people. We believe that our players deserve games that are fair, inclusive, and accessible. Okay, so if me, a gamer, wants to pick up your game at Three of Cups Games, and I want to feel included, and I want to feel like it's a part of the diverse world, and you're shitting on white guys the whole time, I don't know if I'd feel too comfortable with that. I don't feel it's very inclusive. It feels a little bit weird that that would be what your game's about. We believe that our employees deserve a fair and respectful workplace, unless you're a white male. We are committed to creating a workplace that is free of harassment, unless you're a white male, discrimination, unless you're a white male, and unfair treatment, unless you're a white male. We believe that good business practices are ethical business practices. We are committed to treating our partners, customers, and suppliers with honesty, integrity, and respect, as long as you're not a white male. We believe that continuous learning and improvement are essential to ethical game development. So this is not learning in the traditional sense of growing and being better. This is learning like resetting your mind and thinking exactly the way they want you to think and reprogramming to hate a certain ethnicity, hate a certain gender, and push that propaganda out there because they hate you. Why is it always projection with these types? They harbor such inner turmoil that they pretend that they're holier than thou just to preach the exact opposite as soon as they get the chance. Diaz's public tweets targeting white men seems, I don't know, hypocritical, to be nice. When compared to the studio's stated goals of empathy and understanding, it highlights a pretty big disconnect between her actions and the inclusive ideals that her company is claiming to uphold, which kind of makes this house of cards completely crumble. When you get to see exactly who the type of person is that's running this company, and then they're putting these words out there like front-facing, this is who we are, this is what we stand for, inclusivity, diversity, equity, all that fun stuff with the buzzwords, when in reality, we see exactly who she is on Twitter. Diaz's comments have exposed just how bad the rot inside the gaming industry has really become, with organizations like GDC openly supporting her and her approach. The language she's used to express her frustrations is something that should not be championed in the gaming industry. There is no place for hate like this. And that right there is exactly the problem with all of it. So my frustration with this is it never gets called out by the big wigs in the game industry. They let this stuff happen. But then, oh God, if you decide to say something that doesn't fit their narrative, you are the worst person in the world. It's very interesting how that road only goes one way. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. There's a lot more information if you want. Feel free to dive into the article. I will link it on the Smash JT page in the description below. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. And again, shout out to Grums for the heads up on this, That Park Place for snagging the screenshots. And as always, you stay smashing.
Notice that the way I like making game design was for myself different, because what I enjoyed the most about designing this game was basically to play around in Unity and experimenting with the lights, the cameras, the audio, the controls, everything. So it was kind of like a playground for me, even if I'm not like, I don't know how to code super well, but it doesn't matter.